Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 404th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be your host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And today's kind of special. It's called Remembrance Day, November 11th. And we are here to remember that we are here for peace. And I think we'll be reminded of that with the members and support members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's program. And let's get that up and ready to go, and we can begin. Let me see, I think we're beginning with Mark. Let's try and get lined up here.
Or Dean.
Mark or Dean is on the roster.
Mark, please go ahead. I will come in after you if you would like to.
Sure. I'll just say a few words. Want to welcome everyone to the One Nation, One Planet for Peace. And again, I never was thinking I'd be in a position to try and get rid of the borders in a way. I was always for sovereign nations and distinct borders and so on, and sovereignty and the rest. But I think this is a more enlightened position where we do have one planet and we do have one race, but we don't have one nation. And we certainly haven't gotten to the peaceful position yet. And that's part of the work of the Universal Council. And you're part of that work as well. And of course, the Universal Council is some sort of intermediary or conduit or bridge between humanity and the universal community. And this may be manifesting any day now. Of course, Mr. Keshe said it could be in another century. A lot of maybes in this whole process, but apparently we are being visited according to the teachings of the Keshe Foundation. And this is a regular occurrence every 3,000 years. And the Universal Council will have some interaction, and so will you. I think we're here. We don't have the one nation yet, and we don't have the peace, but our souls know what's about to happen. And I think that's why we're here. And as we hear in the Universal Council creation video, it's time for change to move. And as Mr. Keshe said, the technology is ready to move. The Keshe Foundation is ready to move. The Mark Ray is also ready to move, and he said the governments are ready to move. And of course, we need to collaborate with the governments to bring this whole thing together. I think the world leaders know the time is short, and what is on the table will be delivered. And we're just part of this whole process. Again, enlightening people to the Keshe Foundation knowledge, but also enlightening them to the idea that we can operate as sort of one spaceship really is what we are. But there's much more, and there's much more help coming our way. So we're just here as sort of the early comers. Our souls have realized what's coming. I think all souls know, but actually we brought the physicality along. So we welcome you all here. And as the three wise men, if we again, this peaceful position, maybe I'll talk about that next, but the idea of this work, you can be proud of the work you do, you can be proud of the person you are, and you can be proud of the difference you're making. I never thought I could make such a difference in the dimension of energy as opposed to the matter state. But this is what the Universal Council is realizing, and all of us are finding out more about this energy dimension. So welcome, everyone. And Dean, if you'd like to come in, please do.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. So this is the One Planet, One Nation, One Race. And it's for justice, and it's for world peace. And we all know that the world peace, that peace starts with inside ourselves. So when we have a nice balanced condition, an environment within us, and this reflects then to the outside. So when we achieve, when we complete, and when we believe that peace is part of us, and we act in this way, so we create a condition where we live in this peace and harmony, gratitude, love, being transparent. And there's a very beautiful word, transparency, transparent. Because many people within the Keshe Foundation, the knowledge seekers, and particularly all the members of the councils and everybody present who has understood some of this knowledge, knows that transparency is the beauty of the interactions of the soul. What does that mean? Well, from my understanding, when I've engaged, when I've been part of the technology and I've created some aspects of it, and this can be reactors inside myself. This could be a reactor that I've created as a physical form in a scientific way through the knowledge of the foundation. And when I put my intention and my thoughts into those interactions, those creative tools, I find that depending upon my emotional condition and my intention, my focus, my field strength, it brings a peace. So what happens is that the what we have come to know as plasma starts to interact, and that interaction corresponds with the soul of the man, transparency. And when you start to initiate the reaction, you'll find this field strength between magnetical and gravitational. However, it's transparent. And this is what happens with many of the knowledge seekers, all the knowledge seekers, when they start to engage and start to become knowledgeable about some of the teachings of Mr. Keshe. You start to become transparent. Everything you do is open for all to see. There's nothing to hide. And you can't hide it anyway from the universal beings. We have some that may be present very soon. And you can't hide your thoughts, your intentions. You have to be transparent. You have to open. So if you try to hide something, the moment you do, it's known. It's a field strength that they sense immediately before you even think it. So when you have that understanding, then the one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace becomes transparent. It becomes for all of us to establish this connection and to understand the implications of being present, receiving on a soul level, and giving back for all. The ethos of the foundation is to share knowledge and to give freely and openly to all. So if you notice with Mr. Keshe, he's creating many opportunities for many different entities and beings and souls that are present in physicality, and then he's gifting them the opportunity to grow it from a seed into something that will be much larger. And it's transparency, it's being open and giving the knowledge for humanity, for all the souls present to receive the gift of the knowledge. So the Universal Council is present in this moment for one planet, one nation, one race, for justice and world peace, with transparency and a beautiful gift of giving from the soul of the man for you to receive in these moments. So welcome to this particular knowledge seekers, understanding and application of the knowledge delivered by the Universal Council in these moments. Thank you for being present. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rick. Mark, would you like to go into the next bit and read the World Peace Treaty?
Sure. This is the Keshe Foundation World Peace Treaty, and again, presented to the nations. I think a couple nations have already signed on to this, as we've heard. I think in the last workshop, he said China and Iran will be given some of these Keshe coins, I believe, and maybe other things as they sign their nation's peace. And Mr. Keshe said they're willing to work with any nation any leaders who will pledge their nation to peace. In the meantime, we're sort of standing in the balance and creating that for our own nations. But this World Peace Treaty is between you and your soul, as I understand it. This is the way I'm reading it. And of course, as Dean said, you become peaceful, you emit peaceful energies, and this will change. We need a collective awareness of the population moving in this direction. Although Mr. Keshe said at one point, 99% of us are already peaceful. In another point, he said when we meet these visitors, and we do have, in a way, a little bit more advanced knowledge of the transmutation aspect, he said, but we haven't become yet true men of peace. So there needs to be a bit more perfection, I think, done. And of course, another statement Mr. Keshe has made is, the more you understand this knowledge, the more peaceful you should become. And of course, I'm not quite there yet, but it is my wish to be peaceful and to be closer to the Creator. And there are different ways we can approach this. But again, this agreement is between you and your soul. So we, as citizens of the earth from this moment on, accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We shall never think about getting involved or incite war, or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this we all agree and swear with our nation, our territory, our council, our religion, our city, our town, our body, and the soul. This is what I mean. You're sort of standing in the balance, if you'd like, for some of those other entities. And of course, there is a formal World Peace Treaty that you can actually sign. I think Rick has it in the background. You can find it on most search engines, the Keshe World Peace Treaty. You can find it on the Keshe Foundation website. I think, and it's come to my realization, that this is an actual reactor that you're sort of creating. Again, bringing the soul of physicality closer to the soul of the man. We may not be completely there at this point, but it is our wish to get there. And of course, we know the belief is connected to the emotion, and the emotion is connected to the wish, and the wish is connected to the hydrogen, and the hydrogen is connected to the Creator. And so eventually that wish will be fulfilled to be more peaceful. And this is, of course, part of the ethos of the Keshe Foundation, but certainly part of the ethos of the universe. You will not travel very far in the universe if you're not a peaceful person, as I understand it. So again, between you and your soul, create a reactor. You can display it. And I can just read through this very simply. Again, it's much deeper than what meets the surface. You don't even have to sign it with the physicality. You can just sign it with the pen of your soul, as a lot of people do say, or even Mr. Keshe said. So we, as citizens of the earth from this moment on, which I just read, lay down all tools of aggression and war. We shall never think about getting involved or incite war, or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this we all agree and swear with our, again, you can stand in the balance or even to your own soul. Simply put your name and your signature, date on position. So you're creating a little plasmatic reactor here, as I see it, especially the part about displaying it. But maybe we don't even have to display it physically, although some people, you know how Mr. Keshe keeps reminding us how physical we are. Some people would like to see that, and that may make a slight impression or some sort of cause some sort of energies within their soul to be triggered or to start contemplating about the peace. And of course, we think about peace as killing things, and of course, we're still involved in that. But when we think about the ethos of Mitra or the three wise men, the gift of the three wise men, I'm probably eating, so many times a day or so many pieces of food or whatever. But my thoughts, I must have millions or billions of thoughts coming through me. I don't have as many words coming out of my mouth, but this is part of the ethos of the thinking good and speaking good, and that will lead probably to acting good. But this is something that only you as an individual can control, these thoughts and these words. And again, these are reactors as well. So this is where I think if we can master that more, or at least attempt to think good, speak good, and act good, we can be proud of the work we do, and we can be proud of the person we are, and we can be proud of the difference we're making. And again, I think you're a huge field generator. So by just thinking, by just speaking, and of course by acting good, you're creating beautiful fields. Even in your breathing, perhaps you'll be emitting fields of peace. So again, we're trying to get to that peaceful position. We haven't achieved it yet, but this is our wish, and we know our wish is our command. And of course, this is the way we're going to bring the change as collective humanity becomes aware of their, let's say, energies of their entity. I think it becomes more easier. And of course, it's easy to work in this dimension just by, again, creating that emotion, making that wave, and sending that field out. So we're getting more and more familiar with this energy dimension, and hopefully we'll see it more and more manifest in the matter state on this planet as we become more peaceful with all the created entities of the creation. Anyone else?
Mark, I have a question that comes up occasionally with people and has come up recently, and perhaps you can answer, which is people are, let's say, hesitant to sign with their soul. They don't want to have their soul obligated to some document. This is what they've tried to get away from, is we've already signed our soul away when we're born here, it seems. We spend a lot of our time trying to not sign our soul away and so on. And what about that in terms of how can some people say that their soul is already given to Jesus, for example, or some other religious figure or religion, or corporation for that matter. What about people that their soul's already tied up, let's say, and they feel hesitant about signing with their soul?
Well, I think your soul has already signed, but not with a pen. The soul is a perfect gentleman, doesn't offend, doesn't do much wrong that I'm aware of. So it's only the physicality and the soul of physicality. Again, we're trying to get the lion and the lamb to eat and sleep in the same nest. And so it's the physical resistance or the fear of loss of something, as I see it. But your soul has already signed this and is in agreement with this. Now, your physicality may tell you you've pledged your soul somewhere else. But I think, again, our closest friend, our scout, and everything else has already signed this peace treaty. Unfortunately, it's become a little bit indented living in this environment where the energies are not sufficient to allow the physicality as well to exist without killing. But I believe your soul has already endorsed the World Peace Treaty. It's just we're bringing the physicality and the soul of the physicality along. And again, signing this just starts in a way that process, but you don't have to physically sign it. You just make that sort of wish within you that you want to achieve this, even though you're not achieving it. Just like a player in any sport, he wants to be a very, very good player. But in the beginning, when you're just coming around to this, you don't have all the techniques and the skills to do it. So it's a progressive development. This is what I found. Maybe others have become completely peaceful overnight, which is possible. We don't. And of course, we'll see these fields changing our emotions and changing the way we believe. And of course, it's all about what you believe about yourself and your understanding. But as we grow into this knowledge, I think more and more people will realize their soul is already a peaceful entity. It's just the physicality and the soul of physicality that hasn't gotten on board. And of course, the energies and the systems, Mr. Keshe is saying, we're going to make a peaceful man out of the man. So we will be twinning with our souls, or at least getting into a closer position with it, or closer position to your creator, which is your own soul, as I understand it.
Well, that was a good answer. Thank you, Mark. There's also one other thing I'd like to just put out here quickly is, what about those folks that they're afraid to give up their preferred tool of aggression because they want to protect their family or their friends or their loved one or themselves in case of intrusion by thieves or someone out to hurt them and that kind of thing, or for the end times, people are keeping weapons for end times for their protection, supposedly. How do we address that? Because many people have that, they're not willing to accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war because they think they might need it sometime. How do we address that?
Don't mention any names, Rick, please.
Well, I guess.
Well, again, if you knew the transmutation process, I don't think you'd be worried about that. As Mr. Keshe said, it's better to be killed at one point than to kill. But we haven't really understood this. We're trying to defend the existence and the physicality in every shape or form. And nothing wrong with that. I think in the new process, we will extend the physicality. But as he said, you can try to hold on to it as long as you can, but you're still going to go into another cycle. So, yeah, that's the typical response, is to defend. But again, I think
Is there such a thing as a tool of defense rather than a tool of aggression?
Well,
that would be a deferrent, but it's not necessarily to be used, let's say. So if it's not used, is that indeed a tool of aggression?
Well, again, your soul is your best protector, as we see in these horrific car accidents where the people walk away. And the explanation was the soul in 1/10 of a nanosecond actually puts you back into the energy dimension and then returned you into the physicality, and not a scratch on you because your work hasn't been done. So our closest friend can do that for us. Of course, again, I don't understand it completely, but it is our closest friend and our closest protector and scout. So if we get more in tune with our soul, I don't think we have to worry. As Mr. Keshe said, they're hoping this guy goes away, but this guy is not going away because this is not a guy. This is something else in the clothes of the man. And as he said, he's been walking on the planet for thousands of years, leaving one city as an old man and appearing as a child in the other one. So this is the magic of understanding this transmutation process. And of course, all the Christians missed it as well. This is what Christ showed us, is the transmutation process. But we were all told he died on the cross, and that was that was the end of that physicality. But we know it's a different. So I guess if you gain that aspect of it, it doesn't matter if your physicality comes to a demise, you can recreate that frog. Some people have done this. Mr. Keshe says he has done this. He's already moved in that direction and completed cycles. So again, the energy doesn't disappear. The physicality may. And again, we're all trying to protect it, myself included. So hopefully we take the correct path and get out of whatever situation is in. You know, when you have people coming into the home or something, again, things happen in a very short period of time, and sometimes you make the wrong decision out of fear or out of this idea of defense of yourself. But as he said, with the 3I and the shielding around the 3I, we can create that sort of shielding around us by that thinking, speaking, and acting good. You can create that repulsive shield so that that negative or that wrong energy doesn't sort of come your way or is repelled before it gets there. I'm just giving a possible scenario for you to apply.
Well, that's a good answer. I think the answer ultimately is in elevation of oneself and others. And even in that kind of defensive situation, the whole situation can be elevated. You might use humor or some other ways of totally transforming what was going on. So yeah, thank you for that answer. I don't want to get too involved here because we're using
sure. That's
time,
just
but
my
I think it's important. Thank you.
That's just my understanding as the way I see it, just to be impartial.
Okay, well, let's move along. Okay,
I want to add something.
Okay, thank you.
I also want to say thank you, my dear. I want to add that yes, believing in the soul, that was not a practice. When we came here as a soul entity in this initiation of physicality, most of us as this mind manifestation became growing up with different faith, different religion, different working place, and that is why. And in the intensely involving, I have involving ourselves in this physicality, forgetting that even experiencing love, experiencing compassion, but we didn't believe in it. We thought it will, like, as Mark says, okay, there's this kindness and everything works again. Like, but that is not real. The soul realm is very different. And like, heaven and the soul, it doesn't understand you and it doesn't see well, of course, the light of an enlightenment. It leaves and we see death, you know. So the similar thing happened in myself also. That was a bigger road accident many years ago, a car crash. I was lying in between the road, bleeding highly, and those who are walking, my husband was waving for a car too because our car was damaged. I didn't feel my physicality then. I just feel that I am. Nothing has happened, you mean? And then a car came and they were so shocked. They were saying that, oh my God, maybe she will die. I don't know. They were talking like that, but I was not listening to them. My focus was that I am all right, kind of that. And when I got to the hospital, the police came and still, oh my God, she's not going to survive. That kind of feeling. But then I, my sister was by my side, but she said, Tinku, what has happened? Are you okay? I said, yes, I am okay. I can see everything. Then after immediately, the person who was tried to examine me, asking me that, are you able to sit? I said, yes, I will. I am. And I sit and I sit in the wheelchair and I started the process. So that is the way an enlightenment came, in every broken pieces of me. And that is the way I found this, the remembrance today. I will say November 11th, and I salute uh, to Shriman Mehran ji for everything and giving us this knowledge of peace, because what was I was then, I have transmuted. I was not a person I was before. And peace is the key. Peace is the key. When we are in peace, we can understand, analyze, where we don't want to talk, where we don't want to manifest, we do not. So if we say there is no war, there will be no war. So, so people, those who are in this uh, path, those who are choosing the path of peace, they can sign the peace treaty. It's beautiful. And with your soul pen also. So analyze, focus what has happened from eons, what are all the, in India we say Maya, the game. So soul is always elevated. It leaves when it doesn't interact properly. And it gives you blessings when you interact, you believe in the love, in the unified field of love. So I want to also say that when I signed the peace treaty, that was a road map of peace started for me, for many, many of us, indeed. So thank you for listening. And this is a heart talk, talk from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And please go to the World Peace Treaty. See how it is written. Nothing has been, it's a plain white enlightened paper. And I signed it, and there was two witnesses. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you for me. Hello. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Well, I just thought it's Mehran's Farsi support, you see, Farsi language. I just thought that all of us were a little bit surprised because we are not used to the easily use the word soul. Because we didn't, we are not we don't have the habit of using it. For me, it was 10 years ago. But I had some previous research in the soul and things like that. So personally, I think I was ready, even though it was also surprising for me. And I was asking kind of things like that. But now we know more about soul, we know more about peace, and we know with Tree Eye, we know more even about soul and our earth and our universe. So it needs a process of getting used to, because the word soul has been kind of used and abused in some proper definitions of religious, of the church, and things like that, which they had monopolized this word, and sometimes it didn't make sense and was abusive. So people have some kind of rejection to all these things. That completely this culture of 21st century is like that, and 20th century. Which television has a program about soul these days? Which YouTuber has a series about soul? Nothing, nobody. If it's not on the contrary, because when we know our souls, we are together, we have a goal in our lives, we have a distinction in our life. But there are those interests who don't want us to be together and have a goal and to be concentrated. So it's quite normal to think about that, but it just takes time to get used to it. At the meanwhile, we can use the ethics of thinking good, doing good, and talking good, and being kind, trying to be kind, trying to give unconditionally, to love unconditionally, and little by little try to elevate our souls, get acquaintance with our souls, and then everything would be okay. When I say that, it's not that I always do it, because we have some habits of all life. Like the other day, I was in a store and they say something I don't like, the security, it was just complete misunderstanding. And I was just so upset. I said bad words to the person, kind of abused that person. And I was so bad for 3-4 days. I was thinking, I'm wrong. They upset me. That's why I'm not feeling good. But then I thought, no, I abused those people. You know, sometimes we are right, but again, we are abused by our words. We belittle us, some other people. And even that affected my soul. Unconditionally, I was in bad feeling because of what I said. So, I mean, it's just a process. As long as we know where we go, so we correct ourselves, and the future is bright, and we wait to see what 3i brings us. Good luck.
You're right. And at one point, Mr. Keshe said they don't, in the universe, they don't call it a soul, they call it a center or a triangle. And of course, these people must have immense understanding of the soul, because when he referred to the world leaders trying to manipulate the visitors, he said that their soul has already been read by these people. So I think it's gonna, again, as they say, the world of the plasma could come back on you, and this is what Mr. Keshe was referring to. But they have some very interesting abilities to read souls as well. But they do call it a center or a triangle, I believe, in the universe. Thank you, Bernice and Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for a variety of answers there. That's very interesting. Okay, I think we should move on to the next part, which will probably also give answers, which is an excerpt from the last Knowledge Seekers Workshop, number 615. And this excerpt is called Understanding How to Be Passengers of the Universe. And I'll play that now.
In the coming time, as we are launching the macro cooperation into a very advanced level in the coming weeks, as we have started last night, you will understand the new system will come which recognizes you through your soul and position of your heart. No one can replicate. Then you are a passenger of the universe. We don't connect the eyes. We connect the position of the soul with a pump of the physicality of the soul of physicality of the man. Everyone is individual and there are no replication of it. Now you understand how the structure, how the life, how the position will change, and how we stand to bring the changes through understanding, the true understanding of the science of creation, and not by manipulation. Manipulation to enjoy is your job. We are teachers to show you how to make it. Any abuse will be back to you, as you cannot abuse the system. This is why you'll understand, even in the most advanced way of technologies we'll see from space, because they use the structures like us, they cannot damage us because they're part of us, we are part of them. Because they show themselves in the matter state, we show ourselves as the skin of the man, the bone and the rest in another dimension of the same. I made man in the image of myself. I made the universe and its citizens the image of myself. And in my eyes, there is no difference between the son, the daughter, Muslim, Christians, man of space, UFOs, and the rest, because they all carry the essence of the creation of the same ocean. I made life in the image of myself and not the man. Once man understands the principle of the creation and how to manipulate the plasma, Man will create anything which he likes, as we showed in May. Gold, silver, dust. We just create the condition. The rotation and the thing was illusion. Life is illusion if there is no soul to dictate the condition of manifestation. And that soul is a drop from that ocean. Understand the teaching of today. Understand the manipulation of the plasma to lead to creation of the fields of the what we call communication of the world of the creation. Then you understand why in the teachings and in trials we have only worked with two elements and no more. What is the fields of the universe, of the plasma, and what is the line which transfers that energy to any matter condition. I have shown so many pictures of this, but you're just so materialistic that you have not understood. Go back on the press release of Mark Corporation in the past 24 hours on the international news. I released a picture of this deliberately, and many of you have seen it. There is a reason. What is a matter state and what is connected to the fields of the plasma of the universe. In the body of the man, you cannot grow a child of a dog or a cat because the womb doesn't allow. In the world of creation, that womb allows anything to be grown inside it. It's just a cluster, it's the cocoon. The decision of what will be in that cocoon is made outside by the emotion, by the dimension of the creation of the fields. I give you a cocoon being made and you get gold, and the cocoon next to it, you get a cell, you get a protein, you get copper. That cocoon is the plasma field of the universe, which is interacted and creates a condition inside. You already have decided from outside what to be inside. Try to understand the teaching of today, because we have opened a massive door into the knowledge of the universe. Teaching on the matter state and emotion and the soul and everything else for us is completed, because now by teaching about the creation of the universe, you understand your connection, how it came to be you, how it came to become to earth, how it became to become 3i, how it became to become another galaxy in the universe. You understand the principle through your soul. You know where to position your soul once you leave the physicality dimension of the man. The teaching from now on is for your soul. It's from the energy of the patterns of the universe. You are that drop, which is taken from the ocean. But you know how a drop of different color, when you put in the cup, can change the whole color of the cup. That's the purpose. Pure giving, the love, that it changes, and that cup will change the dimension enough of in the ocean. How you knowledge seekers through waters in the oceans and the rivers, you have already understood, done the process, and carry on doing it, because those little cups will add to. We have a beautiful saying, Farsi says, "Qatra qatra jam shavad, yek nigah darya shavad," which means drop gets together and suddenly it becomes a ocean, becomes a sea. We cannot have tainted souls which have learned to kill. We need to understand, and this is the process which will go on. We join the structure with the 10,000 units which will go into hand of you in next few weeks, and through that will change the dimension of the interaction of the soul of the man with the soul of physicality, and detachment from the matter state condition, but the enjoyment of the living the life of physicality. Everything is connected to each other, what we've done. And it's time for its, what we call conclusion, for it's time for it to come to manifestation and for change in the humanity. As I said before, you go due to a characteristic of the inertia of the environment, you look Chinese, you look Indian, you look African. With the spread of these 10,000 units and the systems we add to it, your physicality will stay the same, but we elevate the soul of physicality and this connection to the soul of the man, that the man become a peaceful man. I was explaining this to a lawyer over the weekend. A man is born poor, and because of not having financial or means, is abused by the others. Keshe coin, Keshe structure of the market corporation gives every child at the point of birth hundreds of thousands. Every child will be born rich that no one can abuse. We are not the dreamer. The system has set up. With that, you create a different soul of the man. We change the position of the matter state. We change the position of the field, the strength of the soul through the 10,000 units. Will make a new man out of the man. And what we see, if the 3i does what it's supposed to do, it brings that pulse frequency which is needed to convert the man to hold on to the man. Not when it goes, it changes and it comes back again. This time it will be a permanent change. Because man makes that change. There should be no difference between the child born in the back villages of Africa in comfort and pleasure and to be there to survive and availability of everything to it, than the man born in the fake palaces of the kings on this planet. It's not a dream. We understand the interaction of the plasma, and all the systems we set up works directly through that system. But we use the coin as a greed of the man to enter the man's soul dimension of interaction of the fields of emotion.
The changes which will come are maybe in emotional level for humanity, and the child abusers change also.
A lot of things will change. A lot of things will change. You got to understand a lot of conditions on this planet comes out of mistakes of the past. Mistakes of the past come out of changes in dimension of emotion. And these children, abusers have that intentional notion. We got to understand how they get to this position, and we got to understand how we have allowed them to get to this position. And this is what we have to understand, even with the drug trafficking. One of the first things we'll see over next years with the introduction of these 10,000 units is the elimination of the addiction. Many of you have been through that session. If you remember, many of you lost your habits, your addiction to a lot of other things, chocolates and the rest of it. Because you didn't do anything. You just put the headphone on, and we walk through the plasma technology and the cosmic ray technology in the background. Thousands of kilometers away from us, whatever you felt the changes, chocolates, God knows whatever you were addicted to. And then you can relapse because of whatever. We pass the same thing now through the system to this 10,000 units. You produce as much as cocaine as you like, but there's no customers. At the moment, they say, was it $50,000 or $25,000? These gangs in South America are put on every American border control, whatever, that they cannot push drugs through. We don't need to have that. There are no addicts. It can grow like a weed. That's what it's called, a weed. It'll go back to become a weed because there's no one to buy it.
All right, that completes our excerpt from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop. Get back to our presentation here. And now it's time for the wishes. And I'll remind our audience, let me just share properly here. There we go. For the wishes, and I'll just remind our audience that we'll have a full minute of silence after each wish so that we have time to ponder and implement that wish. Okay, I think, let me see, we have Shweta, I believe, to begin with. Please go ahead.
Thank you, my dear. The wishes, beautiful souls, wishes from the core of the heart and soul for all souls in existence. We, the Universal Council, give through our souls the fruition of one planet, one nation, one race. Now, our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate souls this planet to receive the offerings of the universal community and also elevate our guests to receive what we must learn to offer as host.
We, the Universal Council, give from our field strengths to empower the world leaders to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to a permanent and everlasting peace on this planet. And our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish for financial support all work for the Keshe Foundation and Macquarie Corporation to be distributed accordingly as one planet, one nation, one race. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, share our unconditional love with Mr. Keshe to protect him with the love of the Creator. And our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the soul of the universal visitor to understand the transmutation of the soul while humanity learns from the visitors their uses of the plasma cosmic ray technology, providing mutual benefit and satisfaction to all of us. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Next, we have the connection between souls. And this is with Moshfek, as well as the next couple of parts as well.
Hello, everyone. This is Moshfek, representing Bengali language as a Universal Council support member. So I will read from here. I love you, my soul. I live you, and I love with you, and I adore you. These lines are self-reflection in the way of knowing our soul and soul of physicality. And with that, we connect with all the other souls here and everywhere beyond the planet. We have a time designated in the physical dimension of 9 o'clock every day, and as well as another cycle, so to speak, of 3 hours, connect at 3 hours interval every day. So these are the 2 time cycles that we can use for those of us who need the discipline of this physical dimension. We can also make the intention of being present at the soul level in a continuous basis, irrespective of any time cycle in the physicality. And the choice depends on what each of us feel comfortable doing. And it, in a way, it doesn't matter at which cycle, at which level we perform our connection. In doing so, we become aware of the soul's function and the functioning of other souls. And we may choose to live, operate within a certain cycle. We can move away from it, come back to it. It's up to us. We have the freedom. And the elevation that goes with it to perform or act at the energy level that's most suited for the given situation. So I invite everybody to participate in their own unique way in connecting with the souls of the creation. Thank you very much. And now I will do the soul connection using my native language, which is Bengali. And I'll just announce that time when we start in English. আমরা এখন বাংলায় বলছি আমাদের আত্মার মাধ্যমে যে আমরা সংযোগ করি সে ব্যাপারে। আত্মা সময় অথবা জায়গা চেনে না। একভাবে আমাদের এই বস্তু জগৎ যেটা আমরা জানি সেখানে আত্মার প্রকাশ আমাদের মন এবং শরীরের মাধ্যমে। পৃথিবীর এই পরিস্থিতিতে আমাদের অবস্থান চিহ্নিত করার জন্য এবং এই অবস্থানের কারণে আমরা একটা সময়ের গণ্ডির মধ্যে আছি। কিন্তু আমরা যে সংযোগ করছি আমরা কিছুটা সময় নিয়ে এই সংযোগটা করি। যেহেতু আমরা বস্তু জগতের সাথে সংযুক্ত এবং এই সংযোগ থেকে আমাদের নতুন পর্যায়ে যাওয়ার জন্য কিছু চর্চার দরকার আছে এবং এই চর্চা করার জন্য আমরা এই সংযোগটা করব কিছু সময়ের জন্য আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানে। এবং এখানে আমরা প্রতি মঙ্গলবারে আসি। এটা একটা সময় এবং একটা জায়গা। একদিক দিয়ে এটা আমাদেরকে শারীরিক পর্যায়ে অবগত করে, কিন্তু এক সময় আমরা যখন আত্মার সাথে যথেষ্ট পরিচিত হই এই সময় এবং জায়গার গণ্ডির বাইরে আমরা আত্মার পর্যায়ে কাজ করতে পারি। তাই বলে যে আমরা পুরোপুরি পৃথিবীর পরিস্থিতি থেকে দূরে সরেছি তা না, আমরা আত্মাকে ব্যবহার করতে পারি এই পরিস্থিতির উন্নয়ন এবং সমৃদ্ধির কাজে। তখন আমাদের আর বেশি কথা না বলে আমরা এই আগামী 2 মিনিটে আমরা এই সংযোগ করার চেষ্টা করব। So let's start. We will be for 2 minutes. Okay, Rick, we can resume our regular programming.
I think you have the honor of this one as well, Mashfaq.
Would you like me to read it, Mosfek, and you can comment?
Okay, oh, sorry, I didn't turn on my microphone. So I'll just read it. We, the Universal Council, invite all Keshe family all the time and unifying every 3 hours to elevate the soul of the leaders and the soul of the universal visitors to understand the transmutation of the soul while humanity learns from the visitors their use of plasma and cosmic rays technology, providing mutual benefits and satisfaction to all of us. Sorry about the microphone thing, but I think that would be the end of it.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Mashfaq, for your connections and soul connection and invitation. All right, next, as part of that, we have another invitation, which is the Universal Council invitation to be part of the Universal Council. And it's from Mr. Keshe and in the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And let me play that video now.
There's something which I should have made announcement. As we are structuring in a new development of the Keshe Foundation, is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they served during the 60 years. They are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of structure of the nationality, understanding the culture, that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Rick. I also want to add that it's a humble request, dear beautiful souls from all around the world. Please do join the Universal Council membership, Universal Council support membership, and this will support humanity massively. I will say, from every community, from every place, from every single bit of place, there should be a Universal Council, as we are all universal souls, dear beautiful souls. But joining as a Universal Council member and support member in the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. It's so beautiful about the souls that this is a very huge support in this time of transmutation of humanity, time of service. Please do join. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. And also, we invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council to send us your with a member of Universal Council and also Universal Council support to send us your questions to be answered live each week and or needs or according to the needs of your community. And you can do this as everything is transmuting in a way. The updates about the Universal Council page is also kind of transmuting, as you say. But in the meantime, we can have interactions in different Telegram groups of different language of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization, Beautiful Souls. We are all knowledge seekers. We are all learning, and you can we can interact with each other, have discussion, have some advice from you, from us, a teaching, a love, a sharing of kindness, my dear beautiful souls. You can do it all the Telegram group, and the message will be conveyed to each other. Thank you. Thank you for joining us as one soul of peace. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Thank you, Sweta. And now we have announcements from, let's see here, there we are. Oops. Now we have announcements from the last Knowledge Seekers Workshop, number 615. And I'll play that now. And some of the announcements will include the announcement from the Mark Ray Corporation about the quantum leap breakthrough in science and technology by converting energy to matter and gas using edge of science cosmic ray technology. That's the news release that has been sent out recently. So we'll hear more of that in this announcement. And Financial Post has the article here with the announcement. Mark Ray Corporation announces quantum leap breakthrough in science and technology by converting energy to matter and gas using edge of science cosmic ray technology. And it gets into a lot of the details here. Mark Ray Corporation, OTC, that's over the counter, RVBR, announces the successful public demonstrations of advanced cosmic ray technology developed by nuclear engineer Mehran Tavakoli Keshe, which now enables direct creation of pure, fully refined materials without need for traditional mining and industrial refining. It has a picture of the material from the, I think that would be from the Chinese experiment. It says these field-based demonstrations showcase the system's adaptability to non-laboratory environments and further validated the repeatability of the element creation process under varying atmospheric and geological conditions. Building on the progress in China, the 2025 demonstrations represent the culmination of a multi-year initiative and are described by the company as a verified proof of concept milestone for the field of cosmic ray plasma-based science. We believe this achievement opens the door to a new era in which matter and energy can be interconverted through the controlled cosmic ray systems, said MT Keshe, Chief Executive Officer of Mark Ray Corporation. These results confirm that the fundamental processes of the universe can be engineered at will, offering limitless potential for production of material, energy, and environmental applications. And it mentions the implications for the global industry and about ending global dependence on the legacy of mining and refining systems. Talks about the creation of and production of pico-scale materials that could lead to the development of pico chips, where matter exists simultaneously as both energy and mass, surpassing today's quantum computing within years. And about cosmic ray technology, developed over more than 4 decades by nuclear engineer Mehran Tavakoli Keshe, combines advancements in nuclear, plasma, and quantum sciences into a unified field interaction framework, controlling cosmic ray fields, conversion of matter to energy, and energy back to matter, has been the dream of the world of science and has become reality. Which has been the dream of the world of science has become reality. According to the company, these processes allow control over atomic composition, alloy formation, and isotropic purity directly at the field level, producing materials finer than nanoscale down to the picoscale. This new understanding of matter-energy duality brings about a new era in the world of science. We are witnessing the birth of a new science which is the confirmation of the unified field theory, MT Keshe added in a press conference in China. And then it goes on to say about Mark Ray Corporation and some of about the licensing and rights. And in the coming weeks, Mark Ray Corporation will announce more breakthrough tested and developed technologies derived from cosmic ray technology for which it is officially licensed. There is a place for comments, so that might be a nice place for people to put a comment in about the Keshe Foundation, or not the Keshe Foundation, but the possibilities for the Mark Ray Corporation.
As I said, that we have started, we had to have a lot of things in position. If you go to the bottom of it, you read that we have reached now already agreement with 2 governments, but not under the license of the Mark Ray, but as the other side of the operation of the work of the Keshe Foundation. Is one line especially added there. So we already set out to bring, in collaboration with 2 nations, the preliminary documents with the governments have been signed, to bring the technology into open honor space and every other aspect. And gradually in the coming weeks, we continuously will follow delivering new technologies through Mark Ray. And as we receive what we call responses from different companies, corporations, we'll set up research centers with them, as already 2 research centers has been set up away from the public eye by the work of the foundation. And the processes will start. We already have taken position in respect to research centers, and we'll bring the Mark Ray into international cooperation, as we said. There'll be a lot of information released on continuous basis through the what we call press, and gradually we expect in the next year or 2 to become part of the what we call regular knowledge technology, as more and more what we call corporations around the world become aware of the technology. It's not that just because we release a press release and everybody will jump. It takes time, is continuity, and bringing the whole process together at the same time, carrying on with what we're doing. And we expect to announce another press release, and many of you in what we call Keshe Foundation, you're aware of these things, but internationally it's not. And so we are bringing public awareness and bringing the start of the process with everything else, and how we collaborate with other countries and the way we collaborate with other corporations, and to bring the two technology back into operation. We said we will start moving when we are ready. Now we are ready. That the market corporations, all of the Keshe Foundation for Science and Technology, will become a rapid feature of the work of the foundation. In a way, we expand our process not only to what we call teachings, the awareness, bringing market into international what we call arena. Same time, the distribution of the Keshe coin as association and part of market, being part of the license structure of the Keshe Foundation, all will be joined together. And we'll explain more and more how we'll guarantee our shares, how we guarantee our what we call coins. It'll be the only coin which is backed by gold. Every Keshe coins will be backed by gold because we produce it. We don't keep it in reserve. Our reserve is the universe, and we produce as is needed, when is needed, and we deliver as according. And so it'll be big changes in the structure of the what we call work, and we will deliver and deposit golds made by Cosmic Ray Technology as the backing of our shares, or what we call our coins. So we still stay as part of the Keshe internal organization, but the Keshe coins will be handed over to governments for their internal transactions, trusting the work of the foundation as a central bank operation, which means no central control. All the nations are equal. $1 is one coin, as £1 is one coin, as is one real, as is one RMB. There is no changes. If you bring change, it has to be a fundamental change. An apple should cost the same in Africa, in New York, in Tehran, and in South America. And it should be affordable by everyone at the same price, same time. Unification of the monetary funds has to come through a structure of the scientific background, not by governmental. Now every country can produce as much gold as they need. Every country can produce and have access to the latest composition of the materials as they need and the food. So there should be no difference in the currency. One currency, one nation, one planet, one race. And this is the objective of our work, maybe in another 3 to 5 years, but we have started the process. Market Corporation will make announcements in the coming weeks in this respect, which will bring a lot of changes into the whole structure.
Mr. Keshe, could you mention about the kind of conflict between Keshe Foundation and Markray, or the separation between them in terms of not influencing the stock market and that kind of what kind of questions can people ask, and how far can you talk about Markray, and how does that work?
I am the CEO of the Markray and the head of the Keshe Foundation. And we moved into Markray stock market to bring the technology into public. We have given a license. If you go on the disclosures, we gave a license some 2, 3, 4 years ago to Markray to use our technology to bring commercialization. But we were not ready. Now we are ready. Markray moves in the direction of commercialization. Keshe Foundation moves on the research and development. And mark rate does not have the exclusivity which allows the foundation in certain part of the world to operate on its own strength, which we have done. Mark rate does not extend its operation into China, where Keshe Foundation is extensively involved in China. The same is with other nations. We don't have a boycott. We work with any nation which wants to bring peace and new development in technology. And as you read at the bottom of this, the agreement with 2 nations has been signed. We didn't sign contract with individuals for development of the technology. We have our part ready. They have to make their parts ready, that the whole structure can move. Otherwise, we carry on with our own work as we have done for years. But again, Keshe Foundation is the coins, Keshe coin is internal. You have to accept the Keshe coin as an internal structure of an organization. So you have a company, you buy the Keshe coin, you have an individual, you bought the Keshe coin, you buy it from the Keshe Foundation, you can interchange it inside the Keshe Foundation. In the future, if we work, which is exchangeable, then you can change it to the other coins, but again, runs at €1,000 per share, per coin. There's a reason we done this, and it'll stay that way, is because of what we structured in the background for the operation of the Keshe coin as an internal currency of an organization, not as a cryptocurrency in the open banking system, which gets influenced by all sorts of things, political greed and the rest of it. We keep the two very separate, but now officially, as you just read, Market Corporation has officially started its interactions. We expect the shares to move drastically as we announce, step by step, and this is what we promise you. How the shares will take shape is on what we do. We'll release some more shares into the market very soon to allow more players to come in, to allow more nations and governments to be part of it. And then we announce our situation with Market Corporation and the shareholding with the nations. Keshe Foundation will release part of its shares to government, which means part of the Keshe Foundation will be owned by every nation. Market Corporation becomes what we call United Nation in the economical sense that nobody can control. But we control the finances of it in the background through the Keshe coin, which means you cannot play tariffs, you cannot play gun policies. We control. A nation is short of funds, or it's got a project to build dams. We finance through Keshe coins, through the structure of the transfer to other governments. This process has already started in a very small scale, and gradually we build it up to a very big size. It takes 5 to 10 years to build it, but the process started. So if you are buying, God knows, stock market shares from a government loan, you don't need to do. You take money from zero, constant, same rate, you alter your assets. And then we understand the reliability on gold and the rest becomes irrelevant as the reliance on the cryptocurrencies. You cannot go bankrupt pushing share to $100,000, $200,000 and then tomorrow let's get 1.5 million in past 2 weeks come bankrupt. People lost their homes with one word played by the President of the United States in the cryptocurrency world. 1.5 million people. Children are on the street because the father was betting that they go higher and it dropped for the payment. They played the game and the richer became rich. We stopped that process. 1,000 equal euro, €1, $1. We make the coin the effort of the man and not the what we call the resources of a nation or the talk of a man. A doctor hour worth the same as a man who sweeps his office, because if he doesn't clean that office, that doctor sits in the stench. A doctor in Bangladesh has the same value as a doctor in New York. All paid through Keshe coin. Everything is structured in time orders. You call yourself, you're a member of the Keshe Foundation. You believe in the work of the Keshe Foundation. You get access to the coins of the Keshe Foundation and live through it. You buy, you sell, you live, and it's the same. There is no poverty. You don't immigrate from one place of the earth to another to have money to have a better life. This is the work of the Keshe Foundation. In the coming weeks and months, gradually we share the shares of the market corporation to your governments. We hold the controlling as a foundation that we keep the control, that nobody can affect anybody else. But the shareholders, in part, except you lot who buy the shares, will be governments. They'll be allocated certain amount of shares. Each government equal to profit sharing, and then it comes a division of the profit, assets, GDP, and the rest of it. It's well planned. It just needs time, and the kick has started as of last night. Nobody's going to jump just because we put a press release out. Next press release, next step, governmental confirmation of the corporation, the next and the next. They built 20 years to get here. They built another 20 years to complete it, to bring it. And then we supply the food to the, what we call the systems, medicine through the system. So you don't pay $10,000 for a tablet in America and you pay 10 cents in China. You can have a huge GDP, whatever, as long as you pay more for the same thing, but it's the same thing. That, what we used to call it a Big Mac world pricing bitch. How much does a Big Mac cost in New York? How much it costs in Beijing? How much it costs in Moscow? How much it costs in South Africa? And that was the rate of a nation. Now, everything costs the same, does not matter where you go, because we pay for it. We have set it up that way to be. A child will not be born absolute poverty that has to die because of the hunger. The mother gives the coin, receives the food. The process has started as of last night. And you will see the prices will reflect. We don't care. There's a guy, drunk in Los Angeles. We know who it is. Buys 150, brings it to 3 cents, and then sells 200 to them. You lot buy, and he makes his money to traffic drugs from Mexico into California. We know who he is. But now we take this out of his hand. We let them play. The true value of the market shares is beyond what's on the shares. And it has to come to $1,000 equal to one coin. You have one coin, you have one share of mark ray, you have one cosmic ray you can transfer. All facilitated internally inside the Keshe Foundation. We are nothing to do with the stock market, we are nothing to do with the cryptocurrency. You sign your nation to peace, we give you shares of mark ray. We give you the finances of the coins to interact. Condition to become a member of the or shareholder of the market by a nation is signing the nation to peace. Then we give you billions to build your nation. And they want gold for you to deliver to build a nation. We put a machine in there. Chinese government setting up 400 day sets in the meetings. They set up to tell us that they need 400 systems across China to meet the demand of gold, and we can do. The use of gold in electronics and the military and the rest is 400 ton a year. They need it to complete, to develop. They don't need to mine. We mine it from the space for them in there, what we call north of China, as you read in the report. We have openly released full, what we call lab reports in the market announcement last night. And we do the same with everything else we do from now on. So the separation is very clear. You live by the ethos of the Keshe Foundation. It does not matter which company with nation you are. We support you financially through the cash coins, and we back it with a gold. We set machines to just produce gold. If anybody asks you, we want gold, well, what do you have? You deliver gold, because that's the mentality of the man. Or you accept carbon credit, it's the same. Internal coin and not cryptocurrency. I call it the creepy currency, but they have a different name for it. You buy as much cash coins as you like, and you sit on it. It'll stay the same value for life. You don't lose it, it doesn't lose its value, and it stays at that. Somebody steal it from you, we replace it. You lose your certificate, you lose your system in the fire. As long as it's registered on the system for us, you get a replacement. Man has to be safe and secure, and this is what we do. You have gold, we accept your gold, because with it we can do a lot of other things to develop. And we give you a coin instead of 1,000. If you're sitting on a lot of gold, rings, whatever you want to, we accept, because we know what we can do with it. We give you in replacement cash coin guarantees. You can cash it anytime from us. Many of you knowledge seekers have paid, bought cash coins, and over years you have spent it with us or whatever else you've done with it or given as a gift. We have a track record, we don't talk. You bought coins 2, 3, 4 years ago, now you want to change it to something else, you want to buy other systems, we immediately transferred, we exchanged. We have a good track record of delivering what we've done with it. One currency, one nation, one planet, one race is our policy. And with Mark, as of last night, we will see how we play the game. But we are not in crypto. We are in internal. You sign a piece, you sign to ethos of the Keshe Foundation, you buy the coin and it's sitting there. You exchange it per year. There's a clear cut. Market is where the technology will come and where the governments will own shares. And then, you know, when the governments own shares, $1,000 for a share to bring the governments in balance is nothing. So we play that game. It takes time. It's not going to be tomorrow, but it's the way it's set to be done. Any questions?
Well, first of all, congratulations, Mr. Keshe. That's a very big step, and it's great to see when you check on the stock market for Mark Ray, you now see the news release, and as we saw here, it's up already. So, yeah, that's great work.
Yeah, there'll be more news releases in the coming weeks. These new press releases cost thousands and thousands of dollars, not done free. It's international corporations. That's why we keep on asking for knowledge seekers to work with us, to support us. We need it to achieve it. We hopefully, as you know, as we explained to you, we were supposed to be in court this morning with the people who stole millions from us. We would have brought this in years ago. And now it's delayed to the 2nd of December, as the second member of this gang has been arrested and will be in court. The two courts will come to one on the 2nd of December. And there's tens of millions to be returned back to Keshe Foundation over years if they haven't spent it, or we can get it. And from then on, we move on. I always said we lost, and that was a blessing at the time. Many of you stayed with me. We went through the harsh time, but that we were not ready. Now we are ready. Technology is ready. Science is there and ready. Everything else is ready. Governments are ready. And it's time to move on. And we'll see how the things take shape.
Paulo mentions legally we could avoid mining in still virgin areas using Keshe technology, because if this technological option exists, wouldn't it would be difficult to obtain a court order, or it wouldn't be difficult to obtain a court order preventing mining by appealing the environmental crime caused.
You got to understand, we did not, and I repeat here, we have not released this technology and now publicly in the stock market to satisfy environmentalists. We, especially if you read the text, there's a second text which is a more in-depth, is released by Keshe Foundation in the our disclosure in Markray. We are targeting for a space organization because this will bring the space technology advanced by decades, where colonization, having the resources of water and everything else without worrying about it. And that's our purpose. And I'll explain how we are getting involved in this space technology in a very, very advanced way in the coming weeks and months as things develop further. Our target is not to disturb, our target is to kick man out of this planet in a good way. Shall we call it a day?
Yeah, let's call it quits there, I think, Mr. Keshe.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And thank you for being there, supporting us for past decades. As I said, we have started a bigger journey as of yesterday. And it's not going to be easy. The second phase for us is when we give the shares of market corporation to government. It will not affect the shares of you people who buy in public, but it gives a strength and solidarity to company to become an international and weighted back by its own resources of gold, cosmic gray gold, and backed by its own what we call coins, which is the state currency of the Keshe Foundation, internal. Is not for exchange in the market. And then let the government exchange coins, and that government stop going to Vatican and the Rothschilds asking for finances to build the nations is freely available for them to build your nation for you to put back in for the nation for the rest of us. I hope gradually we're getting there, but we still need a lot of support. As I said, any of you have access to rare earth material, gold, silver, and would like to exchange it to coins, we are prepared to accept because we need it for a bigger structure of the development and replacing gold with other things as we use, we need. Thank you very much for your help, and thank you very much for being there. And hopefully by next week, next Thursday, we have different news as it develops.
Well, we also see the Christmas table of gifts. Will there be a picture of that sometime in the near future?
Maybe by next week. Maybe. Those of you who received your Halloween, I hope you enjoyed it. They were very nice. And the Christmas ones, will be, if it's not released by the 15th of December, will not be going out, but a lot of it is getting done, and I hope you enjoy it. The joyful Christmas pack. And those of you who want specific changes, you have family which object to having things, you can just buy it as an ornament and leave it around the house to change the atmosphere, but you have to ask for it, and it can get done.
And that brings to a close our rather long interlude with the announcements from the 615th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, but very valuable in terms of understanding what's going on with the announcements from Mark Ray and the interaction with the Keshe Foundation and Mr. Keshe. And it's very exciting times, I think, and we're fortunate to be able to exist at this time and place. Okay, let's get back to our program. And I believe we are to mention the Christmas gifts, and which was mentioned already in the presentation we just listened to, but the Cosmic Mystery Packs and Christmas gifts with Mark and Dean and Stefania.
Good evening, good afternoon. Shall I start with a point of the 615 that I would like to resume? And then I don't know if Marco
Okay.
yeah, on
We
continuous.
can move to that, and then
Mhm.
if we have time, we'll do the Christmas gifts and whatnot. Okay.
Can you hear me properly? Yeah, perfect.
Yes, we hear you very good right now,
Okay,
Stefania.
perfect.
So this will be the knowledge and understanding
Yeah.
from the 615th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And I'll play the video and music in the background for you as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, I'm gonna talk about what stood up in my head since the last workshop. So, and I always invite to every knowledge seeker who listen right now, and you watch the 615, just to take a moment to just recall or recap what stood up for you from the 615. So for me, the first part was, I mean, all workshop was super interesting, and we read and we heard all the news, exciting news regarding Mark regarding the article in the stock market, so and all these new plans, so all exciting for the future. For me, what stood up as well a lot was in the 500, in the 615, Mr. Keshe really going to explain and answer the very important question that we have in life, where everything started, where we come from, which is the origin, what is plasma, what is the creator. And then Mr. Cash also explained in details what the magnetic fields are. There are a couple of questions I would like to ask as well. Maybe Mushfaq or Yurik or anyone else can answer this. I got a question that it's not clear for me. But before to tell you about the question, I just want to resume the beginning. So for me, what stood up a lot was when Mr. Cash again defined the plasma. And he reminds us that by saying that the creator is a plasma, and he's then going to make example of the fact that the plasma could be, you can make the example, the plasma is like the ocean, and then in this ocean you can have a cup, you can take a cup of water from the ocean, and then from this cup you can get a spoon from this cup of water, and then from this spoon you can get a drop. And he said that the water is the same. The same water is the same water you have in the cup, is the same water you have in the spoon, the same water you have in the ocean, is the same water that you have in the drop. So he said the information doesn't change. And he said that it's exactly like this. So the ocean, he said, is like the universe, and the cup is like the earth. The spoon is like the body of the man, and the drops is the man. So and so it to make us understand that the micro macro is the same. So what is in the universe is the same things you have inside the body. So it was very, very nice way to put it. But I also say that you know, we can observe the universe because the universe is so big and it's very difficult to observe the whole totality of the universe. We can observe the drop. The drop is the body of the man, is the man. So whatever is in the drop, inside the drop, is also whatever is in the universe. And he makes all these example in the beginning of the workshop. I really recommend you to go and read it. It's really, really interesting. So it make it easy because he said you can just analyze the drop to really understand the ocean, for example. And he said that's why he said I made man in image of myself because the drop is the same as the ocean. But also he said when I said there is no beginning, there is no end, the beginning can be I think the beginning is I can't remember now. Is the beginning is the um, um, is the ocean, yeah, and the end is the drop. So you make all this way of example to make us understand what is plasma and what is the universe and what is us and the earth and everything else. So we all come from the same things. And then another interesting things was for me was when he said that um, uh, that when the drop a drop when sorry he said that the drop is like a proton, and the drop can be also electron, or the drop can be also the cell of the man. And then he said when they interact they can create condition. And then he said when they interact of different strength they can create a different condition. And then he said that's why when you put plasma together at different strength, they do mix because they're creating their own barrier. And this we can see, for example, in the cell of the man, or we can see with the planets. They do mix because when they have different strength, the plasma they're creating their own barrier. And this is where I need the help of anyone who can answer. When he said that the plasma, when many plasma get together, they become hexagonal shape. And I remember in a very, very, I think was a workshop of when he was in Barletta, I think. I remember this container where he was making the guns. There was hexagonal shape. I don't know if you remember, Rick, one hexagonal shape he had a container a long time ago. But he also said that the plasma is hexagonal shape. And he said, and he make example the skin of the man. And I remember the skin of the man because he said it's like the football ball, the one that people use for football, was got hexagonal and pentagon shapes. So here where I get lost. Why is hexagonal shape? Then I try to imagine the plasma hexagonal shape, not 2D but 3D. And I think if hexagonal shape it's 3D, if become like a sphere, it has to have the pentagon as well, like the ball of the. Did you understand this bit, Rick, Mushfaq? You understand? Why
I always think of the bumblebee and honeycomb. The honeycomb is hexagonal. Why is it hexagonal? It's the best shape to fill a space, not spheres, but hexagonal structures. So that's interesting.
And but when you talk about the football, you know, the football,
Mhm.
it's hexagonal. The football is hexagonal and pentagon as well.
Yes, and we should be clear. In North America, it's called a soccer ball.
A soccer ball. Soccer
The
ball.
football is elongated, which is a little different. It's got a different stitching to it. But
Okay.
yes,
Soccer.
the UK football or American soccer ball has the hexagonal and, like you were mentioning, the
Pentagon.
five-sided as well, built in to make it a complete the sphere.
And then do you remember that in the skin, he said it's the same things. You got hexagonal and you got
Yes, and we did have
yeah,
a workshop in
on
the
that.
past that went into that in depth and
Yeah.
more than skin deep, you could say.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's, you know, when you say the three layer of the skin, I don't know if he's the pentagon. It's when, yeah, this were for me get a little bit confusing. Where the pentagon, I remember he was talking about if you get microscope in the skin, you can see the pentagon, and the pentagon is the way in. It's like a black hole, and then the hexagonal is the plasma. So I don't know. I didn't quite understand myself too, but this is what he said in this 615, that the structure of the plasma is hexagonal form, and it has to do with this to creating these dynamic fields. So maybe these dynamic magnetic fields are come from this hexagonal shape, but I didn't quite understand 100% this, but maybe Mushfaq can help us later.
Also, we could look at
yeah.
that question in the plasma reactor group, which is the next public workshop coming up. That's a good place to penetrate that idea and look at
Tomorrow.
it deeper. I think there's something about the transmutation between 5 and 6-sided, what appears to be 5-sided in movement in rotation might actually be 6-sided when you make it stop rotating in a way.
Okay. Okay, so when you fix the fields, if someone wants to talk.
Yes, exactly.
Who is? When you fix the fields, when you control the things, maybe become hexagonal, and when they are dynamic and not fixed, they are in a pentagon shape.
Yes. Yes,
yeah,
that's my
definitely.
theory on that. That's
Yeah,
my personal
definitely.
thing, but maybe that's a clue.
Yeah. Because I remember when you talk about time, creating time,
Mhm.
you have the tree, you have the reactor, like a baby can be time, it can be place, position, and possession. They're all interacting together, but you have to fix he said you have to control the fields, you have to fix them. So maybe when you control them from pentagon, they become to hexagonal shape.
Yes, I
Could be.
believe that might be a
Could be,
clue
yeah.
for those that are transmuting the fields into matter and your 3D matter printing machine.
Yeah, could be. This could be. Okay, this is good.
I think that
Maranes, yes, please go ahead.
beautiful what you started, and then I continue after. I think he said because of the pressure inside and the pressure outside, it creates different characters, the plasma, and one of them is hexagon. It's, because what's happening inside plasma and what happens outside plasma. So it shows different characters, which is one of them is hexagon. A magnetic field inside and pressure outside creates this situation.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I remember that because also he's saying that he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He said when you know how to control the dynamic fields from inside, you don't need to worry about the outside environment. When you can control the fields from within, somewhere it says that too. Yeah. But okay, this is good because it's a clue that I didn't was not clear in my mind. Now it's more clear. And also, it's interesting when you talk about controlling these dynamic fields from inside. He said depending on the size, the dimension of the size matter. So, for example, if a size of a drop, when you can create, I think maybe if I remember well, you can create a tumor or cancer, blah blah blah. And if you actually, if you move the dynamic, if you move the magnetic fields, let's say in the ocean, you can create waves or you can create tornadoes. But all depending on how you creating this movement. So if it's a movement that, from understanding, if a small and gentle movements, you creating waves. If it's more like strong, you creating bigger wave or tornado. Did you understand the same about the waves? How do we create the waves? Do you remember that last workshop you were talking about the creator like a jelly and a container, and you can create these waves on this energy energy container. You can make waves, and the waves you're creating from manipulating the pressure, for example, or
Well, I just wanted to mention
yeah,
something
yeah,
about that actually that came to
yeah,
mind when you were talking, which is a single drop. We think of a single drop doesn't have much energy behind it. You can only, if you drop it from as high as the clouds, when a single drop of rain hits you, it's not that painful, right? It's unless it's turned into snow or hail. But a single drop doesn't do much, we think. But if you take that drop and put it under pressure, like you were just mentioning the word pressure, and put it in what's called water jet cutting, which is forcing that drop of water, many more, through a tiny little orifice that makes that drop under pressure is able to cut right through an inch of solid steel. And that's how they cut out big steel plates and cut through virtually any substances with high pressure water. Now, I've had things cut out that way, and it's quite an amazing process. So a single drop of water going through that tiny little orifice, which is much smaller than the drop, but under so much pressure of 50,000 pounds per square inch. That's like 20 tons or more per square inch. Pushing that water causes it to be able to do amazing work just from a tiny little drop. So maybe in the same way, we work better under pressure as well.
yeah. So it seems a lot has to do with the pressure from within, from the dimensional shape as well, from the size, dimensional size as well. So, for example, in a big ocean, like I said before, you can create a tornado. Yeah, but or maybe, like you said, from a little hole with high pressure, you can cut something with steel. So a lot has to do with size, pressure, dimensions, different dimension.
I think he mentioned about the drop, how one drop of a substance of a certain color or type can change the whole color and conditions in a cup of water, let's say. And he also talked about the knowledge seekers spraying and putting the GANS waters into the oceans and rivers of the world, and how that is similar in this dilution principle, where it goes out and expands into that whole body of water, similar to the drop changes a cup of water. Perhaps a cup of water changes a whole river or ocean.
Yeah, so just for me, this what stood up quite a lot. Plus all the other good news you already played regarding the theory was this one for me was very good. I don't know if anyone want to add anything else about this bit. Like depending how you like we said just now, if you squeeze or if you the fields or if you shake them or if you move them, they will give you a wave, they will give you a tornado, depending also if you look ocean, if you look a drop, if you look a cup. This all in the 500 in 600, sorry, 615. Yeah, I don't know if anyone want to add anything else. Then the interesting things actually is the hexagonal shape. He found it in 3i. That was another interesting things.
Yeah, he said that 3i changes the form. And he said that, in fact, they use a series of reactors and they put it close. And as they are not material reactors and energy-wise, so just by the energy of emotion of the captain, they change their places to create different conditions. And that when they get stable, for example, on Earth, they become circle to be stable. And he says when you shake the plasma, it becomes a wave. When you squeeze it, it creates tornadoes. And then he said that, yes, tornado is coming when you squeeze it.
Yeah, you said just now, you said now 3i is a hexagonal shape. And then you said, when you come to Earth, I don't know, they become more stable, become a spherical shape. Okay.
Yeah, to have enough place or something like that to be stable. And they can do it by these different reactors, one after another. And he said that in 2014 in Italy, they had put 4 reactors, maybe, one after other. So they had created 129 Tesla. But at the time, knowledge seeker could not understand it. That some, maybe 4 star formation, one after another. And that's how it works in 3i. The star formations, different, close to each other, and they can be moved according what the captain wishes. And he says also about the scientists in this world, they want to do fusion, but in fact, plasma is not working by fusion and squeezing, but it works with collaboration. The plasmas have to collaborate to each other to create what we want. And then he said also that R2, which is even bigger, and the structure of 3i and R2 are the same that we said in book number 2. And So the shape comes from the way you put reactors together.
Like the
And
wall, how to make the wall as well is how you put the reactor
yeah,
together.
exactly. Yes. That's how they create the wall. And so which it becomes spheric when it comes to stop or it comes to Earth, and because it then connects to matter states, and of course they can change the position of these reactors by energy of emotion of the captain, according to his wish. So when you trust the captain, each one of you become the reactor. That's very interesting. And he says those who have been with us in Fridays last year, especially the last 6 months, we have put something in the system that we have prepared them to, when the time comes, they can be the first if they want to connect with 3i. And then
For example, here, Maranes, the picture of here, the Rick put just now, it reminded me when you also talk about the star formation. Rick, what is this with the Tesla? When you do the experiment in the Zenzano?
Well, this is Mr. Keshe's setup
The Zenzano.
in Italy, I believe.
Yeah, I bet it's the Zenzano. When you maybe did the 129 Tesla, when you, because in one point he talked about the star formation that we didn't we should play with multiple star formation.
Well,
After
the units on the right here, you can see that the round platform has the star formation, has the central reactor and 3 reactors around it. And then he has these other 2 interacting as well. He just wanted to get sort of the all the actors involved in the show, you could say. And I'm not sure exactly which experiment this. Let's see if there's some audio to this. Oh, you can't quite hear.
it reminded me when you talk
anyway.
about that you were here the plane going to Libya, and sometimes the plane will stop because the interaction of the star formation that you made in the Zenzano, they were influencing the aeroplane. They could not fly, so they
Yes, they had to make sure that to let the flight control know that the experiments were going on at certain times. This was in December of 2014, so about 11 years ago.
The Zenzano, and nearly 99%.
Yeah, I think that 3i uses the same kind of method, different star formations along each other, and that's how they get energy to move. And then they adapted. They want to go up. They want to come down, left or right. By moving these things, they change the direction. More magnetical, more gravitational, down or up or away or closer. Of course, we are in theory, yeah? just the surface knowledge we have. And what's interesting is when he said about human being, but our body is a drop of the ocean of plasma. We are the same. And what causes the hurricane and the nature, which is in fact squeezing this plasma, it can happen in our body by the magnetic fields of our emotion. And when it is higher than it can support the physical body, it creates the stroke and creates damage, like the hurricanes, which create damage. So that was
Maybe in other ways, Marinez, we have a stroke of insight or a stroke of joy as well, and depending on how that energy goes, which way it goes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we have different. So that shows how the emotions, which we don't pay that much attention, is so important, affecting our body, our blood circulation, our system, physical system. The same with cancer, how it creates cancer also on the body, and strokes and brain hemorrhage and things like that. So this is what I understood. And then there are other pieces that I don't remember now, but if there is a question, maybe I can ask. So, and then it talks about the try who can understand our emotion, and they are more intelligent than our leaders who are trying to say how they can turn their intention to get more power for their benefits. And that I hope that I don't know if anybody has started to feel any changes in emotional level. I personally think there are little basic things which are changing. I'm more conscious about, as I said the other day, I said things which are not. I thought I was right, but I said things which is belittling the people, somebody, and then I was not feeling good for 3 days. And I think we are getting profoundly, something is changing in our memory bank or something inside us. So we will continue to observe until maybe 9th September or 19th December, sorry. So see what's going to happen then. But I see also, when I follow social political things in the world, I see a burst of courage of expressing that it was not before. And these are amazing things happening every day. And so I'm just sitting back observing all these things. Is it effect of this 3I, or is it another timetable for humanity? So it's all, I'm just observing things, hoping for the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marinez. There's no further comments. We'll move on to transmutation time with Moshfek.
I think it's better that we skip today because of the time, because it will take a little longer for me to do the transmutation. So let's do it next time.
No time for transmutation? Okay.
Yeah, one of those times that is
One of those times where there's no time.
mutation, not no time. It's a zero time.
Run out of time.
All right.
So
Yes, another time then.
another time, and so let's do it next time. So we can move to the next things because we are already 2.5 hours. So just don't want to go too far. All right.
Okay, that brings us to the needs and wishes part of the program. And we'll have, after each wish is verbalized here, we'll have a half minute of silence to ponder and implement the wish.
Thank you, my dear Rick. My dear Rick, any question or any sharing in the or any comment before we read the needs and wishes? Thank you, my dear. Welcome.
Well, we have a comment in the chat from Dankin, who says, I have my two friends. We are learning more about this lesson so that my two friends are very happy because they learn more about this workshop meeting, Zoom, that explains a lot. And so he's from Africa, and he often has people with him that listen in on these workshops, and he appreciates that. So thank you, Dankin, for that message.
Yes. Thank you, Duncan, my dear. Yes, of course. We appreciate you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you so, so much, my dear.
And we just double
Yes.
check on our
Okay.
YouTube here, trying to, there's the chat. We just have a statement from someone, RQ Tech 1985. It says, thank you all for this information. So thank you for
Thank
this
you.
information.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for your sharing your love. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, well, let's move into our needs and wishes.
Yes, needs and wishes, my dear beautiful souls, from the communities, from the hearts of all that is. We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders involved in conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed and with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect the lives of all population because they are sovereign and free. Our wish is our command. We are present. 30 seconds of silence.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal.
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul for protection of those living in fear in natural disaster areas, and our soul wish to help cover all the emotional and physical needs.
We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East now. Our wish is our command. We are present. Thank you so much, beautiful souls. Thank you so, so much for your kindness, love. And here's the key to be in this transmuted form or be in the transmutation. We are here to serve, not to be served. Road to the peace map, my dear one. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Swagatam into the beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, welcome into the beautiful energy of all universal souls in existence. Welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of all that is love in all souls in existence. Thank you so much. And as we say, we are here to serve. Sign the peace treaty with your pen. Trust the soul. Thank you. And join, follow, hug, love, come home. Dear, dear, dear beautiful souls. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute, the Universal Council.
All right. Thank you, Swata. Thank you very much. So let me get my background back up. There we go. Thank you very much, Swata, and in fact, all the members and support members of the Universal Council for the work they do, both to present these workshops and the work in the background for helping support the great work that is going on to elevate the members of this, well, all of humankind, you could say, and beyond. It's not just the work of this planet. So it's kind of a big job, but on the other hand, it's something we can all work toward and work with, and in fact do on a daily basis just by our own giving from the soul. And it's pretty simple, and Mr. Keshe has talked about that many times and has reminded us on pretty much a weekly basis to remember. And this is a day of remembrance here, Tuesday, November 11th on Remembrance Day. And I hope you can remember to go through life as a peaceful being. And that seems to be the key to it all. And that will bring forth the plasma technology in a very rapid manner. Okay, thank you everyone for attending today's 404th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. And
Thank you.
thank you, Sweta.
For living life as a peaceful being, as you say. So, and then we have to dance and clap, clap. So, dance, dance, and clap, clap, dear beautiful soul.
Yes,
Blessings of
indeed.
all the joy.
Before we
Thank
get
you.
there, I need to announce the Keshe Plasma
Ooh.
Reactor Group, which is our next public teaching workshop tomorrow, Wednesday, November 12th, starting at the 7 a.m. Central European Time. And that's where folks can express their ideas of the plasma technology, as well as it's a good place for show and tell of something you might have put together or discovered on your own adventure in plasma. And yes, so that's Wednesday, November 12th, starting at 7 a.m. Of course, on Thursday, we have our usual 9 a.m. Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and we look forward to that with Mr. Keshe as per usual, and I'm sure he'll have even more exciting and elevating news as we get into that workshop. So please keep that in mind. Okay, now I think we're at the end of our
Oh,
program.
there is this reaction from the reactor. Dance, dance, and clap, clap.
One little thing
Joy,
to add
joy.
before the end. Yes, indeed.
One little
A
thing.
small thing,
Yes,
but
of course.
it's a big thing for our emotions when we can clap and dance. And it's the end of the show. So thank you very much again, everyone, for attending here today. Thank you, Sweta, for your enthusiasm for our ending here. And let's clap and dance our way into the day. And bye for now, everyone.